Ma'am.
Thank you, Admiral. Thank you for your service. Director Comey said a couple of days ago, I guess it was last week in the hearing that I was involved in the judiciary, that Russia is still interfering in American politics. Do you concur with that?
Yes.
He also said that among nation states, he thought Russia had the most capability and the biggest intent in terms of interfering in the future. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Do you agree that it was Democrats in 2016, it could be Republicans in the next election?
Yes, I would argue this is not about politics. This is not about party. This is about an effort against the strategic interests of every citizen of this nation.
I agree with you 1,000%. Do you agree they could do this in congressional races, House and Senate, just not
Yes.
presidential races? Do you agree that if somebody doesn't make them pay a price, they're going to keep doing this?
Yes.
All right, unmasking. A lot of talk about it. Are you aware of any incidental collection on 2016 candidates on both sides of the aisle?
I'm not going to get into the specifics in an unclassified forum about collection writ large, but I will say we certainly acknowledge that incidental collection occurs, but we also have a very strict process for
Can we build that out a bit?
what we do with that. Yes, sir.
The only way you can actually collect on an American citizen inside the country is to have a FISA
Got a
warrant.
FISA warrant. Yes, sir.
Or if an American citizen is incidentally in a conversation with somebody you're already following.
Yes, sir.
Unmasking is a request to your organization, I want to know who American citizen 1 was.
Yes, sir.
You get, how many of those requests did you get in 2016?
I think we've publicly acknowledged some.
Around 2,000?
Just 2,000. I think it's 1,900. And
How many people can request the unmasking of American citizens?
if you're an authorized recipient of the intelligence, we use 2 criteria. Number 1, the requester must be asking this in the execution of their official duties. It can't be something that would be neat to know. It's number 1, has to be in the execution of their official duties. Number 2, the revealing of the U.S. person has to provide context and greater value for the intelligence. Again, it just can't be, I'm just curious.
I got you. So within our government, are there 10 people, 10 groups that can do this, 20?
In terms of authorizing the unmasking?
Yeah, no, to make the request.
No, it's broader than that. If you are on the distribution, if you're on the authorized distribution for our intelligence reporting, you can ask. Doesn't mean it gets approved, but you can ask.
Is the National Security Director one of those? I mean,
The National Security Advisor, yes,
Yeah.
sir. They're normally on the distribution for most, not all, but for
is there a
many
record
of our products.
of every request made?
Yes,
So there's a record of who made the request to unmask the conversation involving the American citizen.
yes, sir.
There's a record of whether or not you granted it.
Yes, sir.
Is there a record of what the person did with the information once they got it?
No, there's also a record of the basis of, so why did we say yes? We remind every individual, if I could, once we unmask, once we authorize an unmasking, we authorize the unmasking only to that individual. What do I mean by that? So if we unmask a report
Right.
that went to a particular individual, we don't unmask the report for everyone who got that report, only the individual that we
And they're
approved.
told not to share it
And
with
they are
other people.
specifically told, a reminder, this doesn't
let's-
change the classification. Yes, sir.
General Flynn was caught up in a conversation with a Russian ambassador. You're familiar with that story in the
I'm
press?
familiar with the story, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Assuming he did not have a FISA warrant allowing us to collect on him, it would be a case of incidental collection following the Russian ambassador. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We would know how that conversation was revealed and to who it was revealed through the request of your agency.
If we unmasked and it was based on an NSA report.
Okay,
I'd
let's
also
say-
highlight, remember,
Right.
NSA won't be the only agency
No, I
that
got you.
potentially could have gotten the conversation. Yes, sir.
Gotcha, but you're the primary one, right?
I would argue, again, it depends. If you look at Title I warrants for FBI, it's
I'm not talking about warrants, I'm talking about,
incidental. Still, I would argue there's
you-
probably a greater potential on the FBI side than NSA, just in terms, generally, in terms of collection
of incidental
of
collection.
incidental with U.S. persons.
Okay, so we could either ask the FBI or you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So somebody took that information that we gained through collection with Flynn and gave it to the Washington Post.
Somehow it got to the media, that's clearly.
That is a crime.
And that's a leak, and that is illegal, yes, sir.
Okay. Are you concerned about people taking the law in their own hands, no matter how noble they think the event may be?
Oh, yes, sir, which is why I've gone to my workforce in writing and said, let's make sure we understand what the professional ethos of our organization is. We do not, if I could finish, sir, we do not engage in this behavior. And if I catch you engaging in this behavior, I will hold you criminally liable and you have no place in this
Mr. Chairman, I
organization.
beg for 30 additional seconds. Okay, the bottom line here, it is possible for the Congress to find out who requests unmasking of American citizens, who that information was given to, and that is possible for us to know.
On the NSA side, and that's part of the ongoing investigation with the primary oversight committees that we're going through right now.
Okay. Do you know if Susan Rice ever asked for an American citizen to be unmasked?
I'd have to pull the data, sir. I apologize.
Thank you.